Good morning, everybody. Hubby here with Just About Anything Garage, and it is a very wet and rainy, yet warmer December 11th here in Agawam, Massachusetts, which is good because we've had snow and all the snow's gone, and I prefer to have the warmer wet weather to the super cold pile up the snow weather. Anyways, we're here in the shop today, and we're gonna start a project service announcement for you. Let's go ahead and get the door closed here, and we'll warm up the shop a little bit. It's about 42 degrees in here. We're going to 62 today, so that's pretty cool. We'll take that. Anyways, but we're gonna do a project service announcement, and what we're gonna do on the project service announcement is welding and fixing cast parts. All right, so this is part of the work that we're doing on Big Bertha. You'll see that one coming out. You'll see this first, but this will also be seen on part of that. But we're going to do a project service announcement on how to go ahead and weld, at least to my understanding, how to weld and do that. So what do you say we jump right in it and get set up? We'll talk about what we're going to do and get things rolling. So hang on tight. We'll be right back. Chilly in the shop, but warmer than it has been the last couple days. Okay, so we're back on Big Bertha here, right? We're doing Big Bertha, and we saw that we had the broken saddle. So here's the broken saddle with that. Now, we did find a parts truck, which we are getting. We should have it in about a week, but in the meantime, we're gonna make an attempt at trying to repair the saddle. The saddle is cast. So here's what we're gonna do to try and repair this. I've got this set up in a little fixture I made. It's just a piece of aluminum. And it's got two bolts in it, as you can see here, that goes through the saddle shafts. And what we're trying to do is just get it up, align it enough, tighten these down so we get the right angle. I mean, close it up as much as we can. It's still a little gap there, so we'll do some more adjustments on this. We'll push it in and do things like that. But then what we're going to do to try and do the repairs, we're going to take a grinder. We're going to grind across the crack seam with it, down to about 3/4 of it, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to get some cast rods for the welder. We're going to use a rod. We're not going to use the wire-fed MIG on this. We're going to use stick on it. And we're going to get a good cast rod on it. We're going to set to about 50 amps or so. And we're going to go in and we'll heat it first. We're using the torch that we have, not the big-ass one. We need to get it up to, a couple hundred degrees. So we'll get it up there. We'll get it warm. And then what we're going to do is stick weld. We'll start at this end, and it's going to be a push technique. We'll start there, we'll pull back, we'll push forward, pull back, push forward, pull back, push forward. The same with here. We'll turn it around. Start here, put it in, pull back, push forward, pull back, push forward, pull back, push forward. And we'll fill the first quarter of the gap doing that technique, okay? We're going to let it cool. We'll chip it clean. We'll hit it with a wire brush or we'll hit it with a grinder if we have to clean up a little bit. And then we'll come in at an angle like this, the same angle. We're going to try and grind it at about a 45, right? So that we get a deep V in it, like trying to hold you guys and stick my fingers out. A deep V in it, okay? So it'll be in the V shape. And then we'll come in from this angle and do a stitch back and forth. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And then same on this side. In, out, in, out, in, out. Clean that one up. And if we're not surface welded to the point where we need to be at, that should take us to about half of the gap. And then the last quarter of the gap, what we'll do is a straight down technique where we puddle, 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 all at right around 50 amps. And what we're trying to do is just fill it as much as we can. We'll back seal the thing. It shouldn't stick to the aluminum when we do it, which is why I made it out of aluminum. And we'll see what we get. Now we're going to have brand new ones because the parts truck that I have good saddles on. So and it's the same year, so we're just going to pull them off. We'll also get another axle. So if we want to, we can check that axle out. If that axle is better, we can pull it. Swap it with this one because remember we got the seal here that we have to deal with. And swap tires because this has got better tires than the other one. But we can do all that type of stuff if we want to do that. If we don't want to, we can go ahead and we can pull this and we can get the seal and do what we can. The issue I have with pulling that is if we I'm hoping we can just reuse the bearings. We don't have to put new bearings in on this side. But if we have to put new bearings in when we do it, the torque spec I think on this if I remember correctly, is like 400 foot-pounds you have to torque that to. I don't have anything I can do that with. So I'd have to figure out how to do that. If you use the old bearings, then you're going to go to 200 foot-pounds, and that I can probably handle. So we're trying to avoid that if we can. If we can't, well, then we'll get what we need to do to torque those bearings down. But anyways, that's where we're at. I got to go get some cast rod. Once I have the cast rod, we'll come back. We'll grind this out. I'll show you that. I'll show you it welding up. We'll see what we get. Seems how this one could be sacrificial. We'll try and repair it so we have it in reserve. But in the meantime, we'll work out a little bit on our technique. All right, so we'll be back in a little bit. All right, we're back at it. As you can hear the drone of the heater, let me turn it off so that we can talk. Ooh. All right. So what we've got done here is we've got the saddle set up, okay? And what we're doing is we hit it with a wire brush real quick just to knock off the loose stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to take the grinder I have right here. We're going to grind here, and we're going to get our V slot into that. Once we got a V slot and we're happy with what it's looking like there, we'll go ahead and we'll get the welder set up. I got everything basically set up. I got the electrode, the grounding cable, and we got the rods, okay? And what I'm using is the rigid rods for cast iron Noma cast, and it's a dirty rod. It's for non-clean cast. So we're gonna set the welder once we turn it on at about 75 amps. That's what we're gonna start at, and we'll do a welding and see what we get. So let me set you up on the tripod here, and we'll do a little grinding and see what we can get. And for those concerned with safety, which I am too, I do have, these are magnifying, but they're safety magnifying glasses. So here we go. Make sure we stay aligned here. Come from the other direction a little bit. All right, let's take a look. So we got a nice deep V here. A little bit more angle here than on here, but this crack is opened up. You can see where it's a little bit deeper crack right there than over on this side. Let's get some light on this too. There you go. You should be able to see it. But that should, I mean, it's going to put plenty of material between the saddle cracks and hopefully get deep. Now what we'll do after we do the primary, and we got everything filled up and we're happy with it, is we'll go ahead and flip it over, and we'll do a puddling technique from the top down on the back to see if we can't connect to that weld through the crack down here on the back side to do that, to complete the weld. So let's hit it with the wire brush one more time to make sure that we're still aligned. We feel pretty good, but do a little taps. Make sure that we're aligned. And I might touch up a little bit more here just to open this part up on the inside just a tad bit. And then we'll go from there. We'll fire up the welder and see what we get. Let's turn the slide off, shall we? So we don't burn it out. Touch that up just a little bit more. There we go. Take our trusty hammer, otherwise known as our adjustable crescent wrench. Make sure we're nice and tight. Yeah, so we're good. All right. Take our wire brush, clean it up. All right, so we've got a good deep V. Nice and clean. That was cleaned up that edge right there. So let me go set up the welder, and we'll show you what the settings are with that. And then we'll heat this with the welder fired up. So once we get it, well, we don't have to get it to like a ton of heat into it, right? Because the reason for the heating is cast is something that'll crack if it experiences a wide, quick temperature differential. And the reason you heat it isn't so much the cracking as you go to do the welding, because you want to pour heat into it. It's when it's cooling down, the cooling down phase. What the heat does is it spreads it out, because when you weld, it's going to get hot. It'll get hot all the way up, but it's going to have a real high gradient here, and then it's going to really be low. So what we're trying to do is even the gradient up, the heat gradient up, and have it retain some heat so it cools slower, and you can avoid the cracking that happens when you do welding on cast. That's my understanding. So we'll go ahead and we'll get set up, then we'll go ahead and we'll put the torch on it. I'll get my thermal reader out. We'll get it to a couple hundred degrees up. Most say like 700, but I don't have the capabilities to do that other than putting it in front of that super blast heater. And I really don't want to break out the oxyacetylene. That would be way too much. So we'll go ahead and we'll heat it with the normal torch, get it up to a couple hundred degrees, see how hot we can get it. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do the welds, and we'll see what we get. All right, so hang on, we'll be right back. All right, we're back at it. We already dumped a little bit of heat in it. Let's see what it's still at, just so you guys didn't have to sit on camera 100 hours. We're at about 270 now. Let's bring it up into the 300s. To do is make it so it'll cool slower and avoid the cracking of the welds, which is what cast is notorious for. We got everything lined up here. About 400. When I take the torch off, it'll start to cool. About 500. Let it soak. Welder's on. It's set for 80 amps. torch out of the way. Let me go grab my gloves real fast. Have a little bit of hand covering. And put on the mask. The hood. See if it can spark. Nope. There we go. Bring that amperage up. Bring that amperage up. Dump a little bit more heat in. Start at a, let's see. Higher. About 95 amps here. You can go up to 125 amps with this particular rod. Come on. There we go. What we got. A little bit in there. Keep going. That one's quite hard to get. Let's run the wire brush over it. Move you guys over a little bit so you can still see. Clean the weld up with the wire brush. There we go. Let's see if we can get some sparking going. Turn it up to 100 amps. How's that? Up some truth. Up a little bit more heat into it. go with the strut. It does not want to strike. Come on. Put some heat into that one, huh? Come on, be nice. Some heat penetration there, huh? All right, let's move this up out of the way a little bit. Do a little chipping and cleaning and see what we got. temperature wise. 600 degrees, cool and slow. 400 on that side. Let's clean it up with that brush a little, see what we can get a look at. Take a look here. Some puddling over the cracks, which is cool. That's what we're trying to do, is get into. Now what we're going to do is finish the fill. See if we can't fill up to this ridge level here. Backfill with weld. I think we got penetration into the cracks. We'll know once we pull it off and look at the backside. Alright, let's see if we can pile a little bit more in there. Especially on this. Sorry if you got my gloved hand here. Get you set up so you can see. Especially on this side here. I'm going to approach it from the back. See if we can't fill a little. Come on. Come on. A little bit better. Might get a crack right here. Let's do a little here. Pain on the tip of that. Get a take the hammer to it. let's grab a fresh rod. Phew, bless me. All right, see if it'll strike. Cool in there. Stick it. Come on. Knock it off. All right. Let's let that cool and chip and see what we really got. All right, so let's let that cool. We'll be back in just a little bit. We'll see where we're at. I say, okay, let's talk actually. We grounded down the buildups on the side, exposed the back crack because we knew we were going to have to do that, and opened it up a little bit with a grinder. We may open it up just a tad bit more, and then we'll do a backfill and see if we can't fill this in the back here and get it to go through to the weld on the other side, flow through heat and everything. So Let me open that up a little bit more, and we'll heat it with the torch. Make sure it's up to temperature because it has cooled a little bit. Let's put you back on the stand. Touch you down there. Go ahead and open that up just a little. Okay, that's good. Let's dump some more heat into it. Welder's still on, so we should be able to go right in and give that a shot. So we got it warmed up a little bit, see where we get. Okay, about 400 or so with the check. Let's see if we can do this again here. Oops, gloves. Gloves, gloves, gloves. Over there. Yeah, let's take it with us. We don't need to weld it to the welding table. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. Really? Be nice. Okay. Ground cable. Stick it right on here. Like that. Right over the electrode so we mix everything up. All right. Come on, strike. No. Crack. Alright, let's let that cool. Chip it. That's pretty good. Might get a little bit more out of the first one if we need to. All right, we're gonna let that cool, then we're gonna clean it up and we'll take a look and see how well we did. So we'll be back when it's cool. All right, so there we are, cleaned up, smooth out, not too bad. It looks like we filled the cracks well. I'm not seeing any separation anywhere. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna test fit it. It should fit right in. We might have a little gapping like right in here where it's a little irregular, but it shouldn't really be an issue with it. And then what we'll do is we'll hit it with the wire wheel, clean it up, hit it with a little black paint, preserve it. Let me put this one back on just to see, you know, and crank it up and see if it shows cracks when we crank it down, or if we got the weld good and fixed. Because remember, we've got the parts F600 coming, so it's got good saddles on it, so we can steal those if we have an issue. But not too bad. Looks like it repaired. So let's go ahead and crawl under and just test fit it on the axle. We'll just crawl underneath here. Seems how it's, ouch. I gotta watch out for that. I keep jamming my head into the, ow, that hurt. To the rails for the slide body. Okay, here, right here, let's just pop it up in the proximity, not necessarily where there is, make sure that we still fit from a circular perspective. It's gonna be right in here. How does it sit? Oh man, it's, now let's see, that's off. It's gonna crack it, because if you look at here, it was off a little bit on the curvature. Looks like it was off on the curvature a little bit here, because it's sitting out from it. And I don't think I mean, let's move this out a little bit here. I mean, if I put it up against here, yeah, see, it needs to be flatter. Needed to be flatter. Well, we can put it on and see if it'll tighten down and flatten out, but it'll probably crack that joint when we do that. I could have swore I had that aligned really well. Well, I'm glad we're going to have extra ones coming. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you one more segment. Let me see if I can get it on and see if it'll flatten out and if it cracks, just to see how it is. But you can weld cast. I mean, if that was the purpose of this, to show you, I just screwed up and didn't mind my P's and Q's and did not get that flat enough out. Anyways, we'll see what happens. We'll be back in just a few moments. Okay, so we're back. The answer to the question is, can I get it to work by flattening it out? The answer is no. The question, does the process work? Yes, the process works. It cracked it again, but it cracked it at a different place, and then it detoured into where the original crack was. So if I had done it correctly, I'll give you dollars to donate. So it would have held in this position when we were doing it, because of the forces would have pulled it inwards. I smacked it. I put it on the ground and smacked it right here to flatten it out. And once I got it to the correct curvature, you can see that there was a crack starting to form. You can see it right here. I don't know if you can see it on camera. There's a little crack there. which is way over to the other side, so it didn't crack to the center. But the weld is definitely failing from that. So it's kind of the nature of cast. Can you do it? Sure you can weld it. Is it going to work well? No, because it's a cast part. But anyways, there's your project service announcement. The process you can do, your success in that depends very much on the part that you're doing with it. But we put failures as well as successes up on the project service announcements. So that's where we're at. All right, we'll shut this one down here, guys. We appreciate your watching. The process does work to do it. It's just in this case, for what it is, because I had to whack it and flatten it out, it's not gonna be acceptable. So we'll be putting a new part on that. We appreciate you guys. Do all that jazz for me. And if you got to do the process does work. But pick your parts carefully, because not all of them are appropriate for doing a cast weld. And in this case, this one is not, because of where it is. All right, we'll catch you later. You guys have a great day.